welcome to today's PaynePoints of Interest. I'm Sarah Harbuck, and with me is Mike Payne, and today we're going to be talking about, we're going to do a little bit of a different format this week with our points of interest, and we've scoured the internet for some questions that people have posed about business. We're going to read them, and we're going to discuss them, and so stay tuned. It's going to be fun. All right, so today we're gonna do something a little different. We were looking on Reddit the other day, looking for questions people had about business, small business in particular. We found this one question that was posed by a user named u/is anyone reading this? I hope I said that right. So I'm just going to read what they posted. They're asking for encouragement or advice. I own a business, and I have 10 employees. I've owned it for 4 years, and on the outside, everyone thinks I've made it. I'm very young, successful, and I get to do things that most people don't get to do at this age. However, I'm miserable. I put on a great face and pretend like everything's okay all the time, when in reality, I dread going to work, and I dread dealing with clients and my employees. Don't get me wrong, I like the people on my team who are reliable, but when someone messes up, I feel like I overreact because I'm just burnt out. Some days I wake up and I'm scared to look at my phone or get out of bed because I don't know what's going to happen that day. And I get extremely anxious on Sundays because it means a new week is about to start. Recently, I've been literally feeling sick on work days, and I think it might be because of the anxiety, because I don't get it on the weekends. But anyway, however, what's different now is that I feel like I don't want to go on. I'm so tired of everything, and honestly, I'm just exhausted. I wish I could quit and go into hiding. It sucks because no one who works for me knows any of this, and if I showed 1 ounce of this, then it would affect them as well, and then I would have to put in more work to keep them on board, which just sounds like a nightmare at this point. I carry a huge emotional burden of the company and every person in it. They go on to talk about how, their company is very successful in a pretty large area, and they can't sell the business right now because he had bought out his partner, and he's still trying to pay him off. He's got a lot of anxiety about it, or she, possibly. I'm not entirely sure, the gender of the individual. But they're asking the internet for advice or encouragement because this person just sounds like they are at their wits' end. Mike, what would you, if you were their business coach, what words of wisdom would you impart to this individual?
First, I have so much empathy for what you're going through out there. What we do is hard. As business owners, we tend to carry a burden that nobody who hasn't owned a business before really, I think, recognizes. And it might be a reason. I'm not really 100% sure why it would be the case, but for a very long time, business owners tended to be men in our society for forever long, until women being in business became more of a popular thing that needs to happen, to give that perspective. But I do think that men, especially, have had the idea of being a provider for their family, and that just kind of naturally translated into having these employees who you're now carrying that burden of being a provider. Mm-hmm. What struck me really hard about what was being said there was a successful business with 10 employees. That is 10 people, whether they're good or not, who rely on you for their daily sustenance.
Well, I mean, I didn't read that part, but he or she went into the whole thing about, I would love to just get rid of my business. I hope it would fail, but then I have so many people relying on me for work in our community for the business we provide. So there's this tremendous weight on this individual's shoulders, not only for the employees that they provide work for, but the community in which they provide the product or service. They don't go into any detail about that, but I can only imagine, having actually been in this person's shoes once, you just feel like you're so alone when you have this responsibility. Now, I didn't have 10 employees, but I ran a business, and I was a wedding photographer for many, 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 many years. And every weekend you're working. And, all week long you're dealing with clients. And when it's just you and you've got to look at every aspect of the business by yourself, that's overwhelming. And you get burnt out and you just want to run away. And I actually had to step back for a while because I loved photography. That was my everything to me. And I was starting to hate this thing that I loved. And I knew then if I continued down that road, the relationship I had had with that craft was going to completely disintegrate and I would never be able to pick up a camera again. So I got out at just the right time. Now, based on all the things that they wrote here, I'm not sure that's obviously not an option for this individual right now. I personally would advise take a vacation. Turn your phone off. If that's a possibility. Delegate some power to an individual, an employee you trust.
There's a very important part of what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
And it hits home for me because I don't know how many people out there like or respect tarot, but I had my reading done last week. And the interesting thing about it is I had one reading done before, and there's a particular card you get that basically means get your crap together, people. Okay? And the position of the card is important in tarot. Previously, it was upcoming. And that same card was drawn the second time, moved clockwise one step, which is now immediate as opposed to upcoming. Mm-hmm. So get your crap together is now an immediate thing. And I've been searching for what that actually means because I don't feel like I'm completely disorganized. I don't feel like I'm completely out of whack. I think I've made a lot of progress, but
maybe it's not what's staring you in the face, but something underlying.
Agreed. And what the crap together that I have to get is my financial side of this. A few weeks back, I went and talked to a financial advisor because I have an IRA that needed to roll over, and I wanted somebody to help me manage it because I just don't have time to do it on my own. We talked about life insurance. We talked about all these things. This is necessary. Some of the advice in the thread was, personal trainer, getting physical. All of this is the same advice.
You got to find a healthy outlet.
You have to work on yourself,
mm-hmm.
which means that you need to have people that you do rely upon in the business to be able to help you carry that weight.
If I had this person sitting right here in front of us right now, I would look at them and say, you have to start delegating some of this stress. You need to share with your employees, hey, I want to restructure things a little bit. I need you guys to help me out. And I think if you come at this from an honest place, you don't have to give them every dirty detail about how stressed out you are, but just say, I want to start involving everyone in these processes, or the 2 or 3 people that he or she trusts the most, and start giving them some tasks to oversee, and really take that burden down a bit to where it's kind of spread out over several people. A table has typically 3 or 4 legs to hold it up.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So you have to find some people who can help you hold the table up.
Right.
Or it's going to fall. And we got pedestal tables, but that's not going to help my analogy here.
No, they still have
a wide base.
A wide base coming out. That's so important. I want to get away from encouragement of this particular individual in case they are listening, but the encouragement is that you have reliable people in your company.
Trust them.
You have to trust them. And
take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Self-care is a big deal, and I feel like this individual really could use some of that. So we could talk about this particular topic, I think, for hours and hours because we both identify with this person. Unfortunately, we don't have all that time today, but if you guys have some comments you want to share with us about this particular topic, please reach out to us at all of our social media. You can find us on our website at PaynePoints.com, Facebook and LinkedIn at PaynePoints. Twitter at PointsPayne, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Instagram at Payne.points. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you guys enjoyed this different format, and we'll see you tomorrow.